This will be quick. Don't hold back. I'm gone. It's time to act.
You've crossed the wrong mongrel.
Strike! You should have run. I am your end.
What you sow.
Retreat is not an option.
We do it my way. I'm off.
The commander found herself in Arueshalae, the very heart of enemy territory. Much to her credit, she managed not only to pique the interest of the Lady in Shadow, but to defeat Baphomet himself. But after these adventures, does she still remember Galarian and wonder about its fate?
I do what I must. I'll take care of it.
Doubt is the heart's greatest challenge.
I'm gone. This will hurt. This wound, my gift to you. Prepare yourself. Ah, a test of my abilities.
Make every strike count.
I will crush them.
Don't hold back. Desna, guide my hand.
Let's try something else.
You've crossed the wrong mongrel.
Come at me, scum.
Strike!
Kneel before me.
Make your peace.
You won't survive me.
I'm always ready. trivial task. We do it my way. Follow if you dare. Ends here. I will resist.
Endure this!
You should have run. This strike, my masterpiece. Prepare yourself! My skills are absolute. There's something here. I'm on. I do what I must. I'm gone. This will hurt.
Make every strike count!
We do it my way. Interesting.
Meditate on your mistakes. It might make you feel better.
I'm off. I do what I must. That was easy. I will defend my dream. Don't hold back. Make your peace.
You've crossed the wrong mongrel. Press the attack.
Reap what you sow.
Strike!
I am ready. I will help.
I'm gone. We do it my way. I sense something. Follow if you dare. I'm off. I do what I must. This will be quick. You should have run.
Not an option.
I'm gone.
Can't hide from me.
We do it my way. Follow if you dare. I'm off. This will hurt. Prepare yourself!
Endure this! Kneel before me.
They don't know how fragile they are.
I will rip them in halves.
A trivial task. I'm gone.
Make every strike count.
I will crush them.
Don't hold back! Desna, guide my hand!
You've crossed the wrong mountain.
Come at me, scum.
I am never wrong. We do it my way. Follow if you dare. I'm off. I do what I must. A trivial task. I'm gone.
Knight Commander, at last we meet. And I greet you, Knight Commander. I suppose you are asking yourself why I am here. Gods must not interfere directly in the affairs of mortals. But what is happening here, in the World Wound, is no longer the concern of mortals alone. And this is proof. This fortress has witnessed so many horrors and miracles. It makes me wonder how it still stands. Goodness and the light of hope are not unknown to you, but you mix them with recklessness. And the power that feeds this recklessness is dangerous. You have achieved victory by uniting outcasts and pariahs. But where are you leading them? And what will your beautiful promises of freedom cost you? But I did not come here to reproach you, or to bewail the fate of the unfortunate defenders of Dresden. I wish to stop the forces of evil and defend Golarion, both from Daskari's violent rage and from Nocticula's insidiousness. But that is not my only goal. I have come here to restore justice, for justice is the birthright of all. That's why I hail you as a heroine who has triumphed over the demons many times. At the same time, I grieve for you, as for a soul that is caught in a web of demonic deceit and villainy. You may think so, but alas, this is not true. It can be, however, if you accept my help. In that moment, when my poor Herald was being torn apart by monsters, he found the strength to send me a message about what he had learned in the Abyss. You were in Arueshalae, where you spoke with the Lady in Shadow and the Architect of the World Wound. They confessed what they had done to you, but they did not reveal the whole truth. Both you and this unfortunate world will have to pay dearly for the power that they so generously bestowed upon you. But all is not yet lost. That is why I have come.
Who here has been taking my name in vain? Ah, it's you, the Inheritor. What's this? Our worst fears have come to pass. The gods are flocking to Golarion. This merry little tinderbox could ignite at any moment, reducing the material plane to dust.
I did not come here to fight.
Oh, really? I didn't realize you were good for anything else. Forgive me, that was unfair of me. Judging by your successes over the last 100 years, fighting is not your forte. After all, the wound is still there, as far as I know. So why are you here? If you have come to meddle in my affairs, don't expect me simply to stand aside.
The two of us will be more than enough. Listen to what I have to tell you. If she wishes to be present for this conversation, so much the better. Do you hear me, Nocticula? You and your servant are under no obligation to leave. I have come here to shed the light of truth. Let us see if you both can withstand its merciless radiance. I cannot change the flow of mortal history by force. After all, the World Wound is their doing, although committed at the behest of the Abyss. But sometimes force is unnecessary, and truthful words are all it takes.
The goddess who was mortal not so long ago is eager to judge us for our sins now. My sin, to be precise. What lies behind your eagerness, proud Iomade? Righteous wrath? Or perhaps fear? Watch out. A simple mortal woman has learned how to grant powers to others. Powers which are beyond the wildest dreams of many Imperial lords. This must be stopped, forbidden, taken away immediately. After all, What need will we have for all these arrogant gods once we become their equals?
Silence. It is impolite to interrupt your elders. But you know, Inheritor, she does have a point. What are you going to do now? Break my weapon, which has made so many victories possible, and only because she received that weapon from my profane hands, and the entire affair must therefore be profane also? What real reasons do you have, save those born of your envy, your capriciousness, and your suspicions?
My reasons are quite real, as you well know. That is why you appeared here in such haste, is it not? You have woven a delicate lace of half-truths, Nocticula. From you and your servant, the Knight Commander has learned that she is bound to the World Wound, that she is slowly dying because of its influence, and that she is yet capable of closing it. But you withheld a crucial piece of information. You never told her that closing the wound won't save her from death. For this lock will destroy the key to which it is bound. The one who closes the world wound will die along with it.
That is true. I tried to tell you back in Arueshalae, but I was not allowed to. It is an unavoidable consequence of this process. To stitch two planes together as I have stitched Galarian and the Abyss, the soul of a mortal must be woven with the essence of the Abyss. To undo this seam, the original soul, the key, must be ripped apart. No one could survive such a process.
It is true. Now do you see the perils of accepting a demonic gift? No matter how much power the Abyss gives you, that power will always be tainted by lies and misfortune. This is the justice I promised you. The right to know the whole truth, and not to be a plaything in the hands of abyssal spawn.
Trying, you say? I successfully hid the truth from you for as long as I deemed necessary. Are you expecting me to explain myself? My goal is to close the world wound, not to grant you a happily ever after.
You will live.
You will lose everything that makes life worth living.
You will spoil a brilliant endeavor and destroy the lives of thousands of mortals who will be devoured by the legions of demons coming from the Abyss. Aside from that, you won't do anything extraordinary at all. Oh, how noble. For a brief moment, I even felt some regret that we demons are incapable of such lovely feelings. You see now, Inheritor, my little protege has more nobility in her than you expected. Shame on you.
This nobility is exactly why I came here. To help the Knight Commander learn the truth, and to show her that she has been used. Besides, I do not believe that you have been acting for selfless reasons, Lady in Shadow. Honesty and nobility have never counted among your virtues. You own the main source of Nahindrian crystals, and your servant Arueshalae has learned how to break the laws of the universe with their help. Can it be that the ruler of darkness and mistress of assassins has not conceived a way to use this formidable gift for her own benefit?
Accusations, suspicions, all completely hollow, just like your bright-eyed pretty little head. It's a pity you inherited Eridan's sword, but not his sharp mind. I have but one goal now, to stop the armies of that lecherous billygoat and that gluttonous bug from strutting around my domain as if it were their own. I don't give a fig whether it will help mortals or hurt them. If the enemy of your enemy makes you a mutually beneficial proposition, you would have to be a complete idiot to say no.
Arueshalae has planted a piece of the Abyss itself in your soul. The only thing that can cleanse the soul of such a taint is that same soul. But I will be near. I will show you how to root out the demonic corruption. I am not a demon, and I do not offer any simple solutions. You will have to go your own way, no matter where it leads. Yes, the power that Nahindrian crystals grant you will bring about nothing but your own demise. The branches of the Tree of Sin are vast and verdant. but its only fruit is death. You will not be able to save yourself unless you reject everything that has been foisted upon you. Now you know everything.
No, we're not quite finished with the revelations yet. Few secrets remain to be revealed, but they will be worth the wait. Does this look familiar? Do you remember the similar wound above your own heart? I have given you enough hints. Come on, ask me the question I have been waiting for. That's right. And this means that the world wound actually has 2 keys.
Good question. Just imagine. I have wasted so much time chasing the key to the world wound, and the key was right under my nose this whole time. Arueshalae, my love, come over here. Wait! I said wait! That little bitch. I knew she would betray me sooner or later, but I never expected such an idiotic stunt. But everything seems to be falling into place quite nicely. You see, you don't have to die after all. Arueshalae opened the world wound, and Arueshalae will be the one who closes it, whether she likes it or not. Although, someone will need to catch her first, and this will require certain powers.
Yes, Arueshalae Vorlesh will pay for her crimes with her life. Her flight confirms that our suppositions were correct. But now we know that the world wound can be sealed with her blood. You have no reasons to remain indebted to the Abyss and indulge the Queen of the Succubi. Reject her gift and secure your victory while being the person you were before Arueshalae Vorlesh corrupted you. Win as a mortal and become a legend among mortals.
She's talking rubbish. True, we gave you the power, but it was you who chose how to wield it. It belongs to you, and it will remain yours, so you can do whatever you want with it. But first, you must use it to close the world wound. You aren't going to catch this world's most powerful witch, and a half-demon one at that, with your bare hands, are you?
Ask, and you shall have your answers. My ascension was not accomplished in one day. And even the test of the Starstone was only one of its stages. I did not merely gain power. I embraced a sacred duty. Your power, on the other hand, stems not from long hours of study, not from trials. It is not the natural talent you were born with and carefully honed throughout your life. It is the result of an evil soul's deranged experiment with the blood of dead abyssal lords. Every one of my angels volunteered for that mission. They all knew what kind of watch they were going to keep. They knew that it would be a hard and exhausting battle, but that the lives of mortals throughout Golarion would depend on it. Alas, angels' minds can be as fragile as the minds of mortals. In less than 100 years, many wavered and wished to break the oath they had sworn. I do not blame them. I blame myself for allowing them to take on a burden that was too heavy for them. He acted on his own noble impulse, and I did not stop him. I also did not try to dispel his misconception about you being my chosen one. I do not lie, but both celestial beings and mortals can be mistaken.
She doesn't lie, sure. She merely withholds some of the truth. For the noblest of reasons, of course.
My herald, my loyal companion, was captured, and now demons are using him to attack Dresden. They're holding him in the Ivory Labyrinth, Baphomet's realm of the Abyss. It is a place I cannot go, not even to save my faithful friend. For doing so would start an interplanar war. Right now, as we speak, Baphomet's servants are torturing the hand of the Inheritor. Tormented and anguished, he reaches for you with his thoughts and his soul. I cannot tell if he sees you as a great unfulfilled hope or a last chance. But Baphomet knows well how to exploit such desperate yearning. He has turned my herald into a source of power to open temporary portals. They do not last long, but they lead from the dungeon where the hand of the inheritor suffers, right to your doorstep. Baphomet does not need to lead his armies through the rifts. Now he can send them right here. As long as my poor herald remains in the hands of that monster, this will not stop. I cannot say if it is still possible to save him, or if putting him out of his misery is the only way. I cannot openly ask you to intervene. But if you decide to do so, you will be helping both yourself and the one who chose the martyr's path when he followed you into the abyss. At first, I did not know who you were, or where your powers originated. This was revealed to me only when my herald offered up his dying prayer from the depths of the abyss. And following his desperate plea, I sought to confirm my suspicions. Until that point, I had observed you without intervening. After all, your crusade was securing victories, the first Golarion had seen in many years. So even if it was not I who had sent you into battle, it felt unfair to undermine you.
In other words, our Imperial guest had no problem with your power, as long as she didn't know where it came from. She didn't even share her suspicions with her own herald. And after all that, someone dares to claim that demons are the most deceitful creatures?
You should not blame someone else if you base your accusations on vague suspicions rather than solid proof. You call my behavior deceitful. You, of all creatures, who kept the commander ignorant of the fate you had chosen for her? Indeed, the insolence of demons knows no bounds. I could, but then every other demon lord would decide that he or she was next and stand against me. In response to that, the Imperial lords would take up arms. Then Hell, Heaven, and Elysium would join the conflict. A war would break out, one which mortals could not hope to survive. As I have already said, I am here to open your eyes to Nocticula's lies and to prevent more calamities in the future. You are at a crossroads now. I will not force you to do anything, but you needed to learn the truth and have the chance to cleanse yourself. The impulses that drive a soul as black as hers are beyond my comprehension. Perhaps she was startled by my arrival and decided not to bother keeping a secret that was bound to be revealed. Or perhaps she is up to some cunning scheme. Be on your guard. The architect of the world wound will surely try to bring you down. For if she truly is a key, then it must mean that she will die sooner or later due to the influence of her own horrible creation. And that means that sacrificing you is her only chance of survival. Aurilu has planted a piece of the abyss itself. It is time to make your decision then.
If you have questions, ask away. Because if I'd told you the truth, you would have refused to do it. But you're not angry with me, are you? After all, everything has worked out perfectly fine. We found another key. So now you can live and enjoy your life. Provided that you catch Aurilu, of course. Of course I do. Firstly, you'll need those powers to catch Aurilu and bring her to Threshold. Surely you don't think she'll willingly fall into your hands, and the demonic hordes will politely make way for you. And secondly, the powers Aurilu gave you protect you from dying before your time. None of us want the wound to kill you prematurely. You are extremely useful to me alive. After all, if you let Aurilu slip through your fingers, we can always go back to the original plan for closing the wound. Apparently, she understood that her secret was about to be revealed anyway, so she decided to leave in style. What human female over 100 years old wouldn't feel flattered at being the center of attention? Although she could have other reasons. She obviously wanted us to understand everything and immediately rush off in pursuit of her. She's probably been preparing for a war of all against all for a long time, and now she wants to wage it on her own terms. Expect treachery and traps wherever you go. Now, let's think. She's hidden in the abyss before. She won't dare to return there now. Not only to my realm, but to any other either. Even if Baphomet and Discari both take it upon themselves to guard Arueshalae personally, that won't stop me from sneaking in, slitting her throat, and leaving undetected. And she knows that. If I were her, I would hide in a place where the powers of her enemies were uncertain, and her own power was close to unlimited. I say you should look for her here, in the World Wound. Tut tut, how rude! I wouldn't say the girl is that hideous. I admit her face is far from perfect. Her body too, to be honest. But all in all, not bad. I've seen worse.
Your theatrics are too transparent to offend me, demon. At least, they can hardly offend me more than the very fact of your existence.
That is nothing but the wild speculation of a little girl who gained celestial power through no merit of her own and now fears that others may do the same, forcing her to share her place in the spotlight. Do I want to become a goddess? Of course I do. Who wouldn't? Can you help me with that? Sadly, no. Of course, Arueshalae used to blather on about how her brilliant invention could bake gods like pies. But between you and me, the cleverer the inventor, the larger their ego becomes. So far, she hasn't managed to create anything stronger than you. And no offense, but you're no match for any deity. Very well.
Perhaps your power came from the abyss. That your beautiful soul has cleansed it of all evil. Don't reject this power, for you have already proved that you are worthy of it.
Being around you is so much fun. The whole world is ablaze. War is raging, but even those who are on the verge of dying smile when they see you. This power is good. Perhaps it was evil before, but you have made it good. Don't throw it away.
As a cave monster who's going to grow old and die in about 10 years' time, I can tell you this. There's no power in the world that's worth selling yourself out to the abyss for. Being the invincible companion of the magical commander was fun and all, but we don't need it. It doesn't really matter how much magic they've heaped on you. You're the commander because you have the heart and mind of a true commander. Screw your power. Don't betray yourself. That way, we'll win.
I don't see any reason for deliberation. Your power is chaotic and capricious, and it originates from a demonic source. I doubt you can even control it. Heed the words of the goddess. Reject it. And then we will hunt down Arueshalae and deliver the punishment she deserves.
It's not my place to gainsay the will of my goddess, but the thing is, I can sense evil. And I don't sense it in your power at all. I just don't. Whatever those horned monsters had planned for you, you definitely aren't playing by their rules.
You gave hope to the Crusaders in their darkest hour, even when all seemed lost and only despair and death lay ahead. With these powers, you have saved countless lives, and you will save more. Of course you must keep them.
My brother is wise. Listen to his advice.
Someone pinch me. We are standing in the presence of the most pompous goddess in the world, debating whether we should listen to her or send her packing along with her invaluable opinions. I shall remember this moment for the rest of my life. Even as I stand in Pharasma's court, I shall tell this story to anyone who will listen. As for your question, by all means, tell her to go to the abyss. The power is yours, and yours alone.
I hate it when they corner you and demand answers out of you. But fine, I'll tell you what I think. With you, I've always had my freedom, Chief, so I'll speak freely. Be who you are and don't count on gifts from nobody. You gave me the same advice back in Arueshalae, remember? And I've never regretted following it. Maybe you won't have the powers you had before, but do you really need somebody's permission to do what you want to do? That's what it's all about.
Experience tells me that it's wiser to trust yourself and your own abilities. You can't trust what clients tell you. One day you're a hero, the next you're working for the enemy. Sorry, but it all looks like a setup to me. First they tell you to lay down your weapons, and then, once you're unarmed, they finish you off in some back alley.
Your powers are interesting from a theoretical point of view. You are an experiment started by Arilu Vorlesh, and terminating it before it is complete would be foolish, not to mention impolite.
Listen to the goddess, Warchief. And if you won't listen to her, then listen to me. You don't need these thrice-cursed powers. You're the strongest of the strong, and the bravest of the brave, even without the gifts of a mad sorceress.
I am waiting for your answer. I hope you will choose wisely.
Quite right. Make your choice, and make it the right one.
Pride will destroy you, and perhaps all of Golarion with you. But I shall not intervene now, so as to avoid causing even more suffering to this world. Farewell.
I know what I'll be doing every night for the rest of my days. Praying to the Inheritor to forgive us for our insolence. But you know, I can't judge you. This is your life, your war, and your choice. And your heart's in the right place.
It would have been so foolish for you to reject your powers. So many victories, so many achievements lie ahead for you. Well, go now. Capture Arilu, and prove which of you is making the best use of her invention. I'll be watching you.
it my way. If you dare. I'm off. I do what I must. Their life ends here. Strike! Your struggles end here. This will be quick. You should have run. Disappeared. This will hurt. A test of my abilities. Healing is what I
I was made for.
Don't hold back.
I just want to live here, in the world of mortals, with you. I have solved the goddess's riddle. This is my true dream. I love you. Will you be with me? Will you share my dream? Freedom. Finally, after all these years, I can feel it. The Abyss has released me from its clutches. I have solved Desna's riddle, and have found my dream. I have found you. I am not a monster anymore. I've never felt better. Everything that I hated about myself is gone. I look at you, and I don't feel hunger. I don't want to kill. All the unholy cravings I experienced as a demon, they're all gone. Now I just want to be happy. To live and to love. No, I am not a monster anymore. Not a predator, not a weapon. Just a woman, like any other female mortal. We will never be afraid again. Let the Abyss be afraid. It fears and loathes everything it fails to understand. I know how demons think. They'll do everything they can to destroy us, because now they are more afraid of us than anything else in the world. Happiness, our dream, an Elysium of our own. I want everything. Everything I've never known before. Everything I've been waiting to experience for so long. Oh. Yes. Let's go. As a succubus, well, I've done plenty of things in my lifetime. But what we just did was unlike anything I've ever experienced. It was the first time I've ever felt love and tenderness. I was so worried that my dream world was the only place I would find redemption. I was afraid that when I returned to reality, I would be a bloodthirsty monster again. But you taught me to see the difference between dreams and reality. The difference between thoughts and deeds. You showed me the importance of the real world. When I took the first steps on this path to redemption, I spent so much time living inside my own head. But you changed that. You introduced me to the mortal world. You made me a part of your life. And together, we have accomplished so many amazing things. So many things, there are too many to name. For instance, I was so afraid of returning to the 10,000 Delights. I knew that I was bound to meet some of my old acquaintances there. But you protected me from them. You didn't let them knock me off balance. In the slums of Arueshalae, I told you about my time in the city. I shared the one good memory I had of Arueshalae, and you showed me how to turn that simple memory into a good deed. Did my actions make a difference? Did I help that small demon in any way? I don't know. But you taught me how easy it is to bring a small measure of hope and goodness into the world, and how much joy can be found in a single act of kindness. You see now? If it hadn't been for you, I would still be lost in my fears, illusions, and doubts. Feels like freedom. Impossible, indescribable freedom. I can give myself fully to you, and I'm not afraid that you'll hurt me. When I reach for you, I know my touch will bring you happiness. If the demons could feel what I feel with you, even for a moment, they wouldn't want to be controlled by anger and selfishness for another second. They think they have achieved true freedom, but they don't know what true freedom means. They're the flowers of Elysium. But how did they get here? Perhaps it's a gift from the goddess. Or perhaps our happiness summoned them into our world. All I know is that it's a miracle. I can't explain how these flowers appeared, but I believe that they're a good omen, a sign of new life. I know I feel the same. But the real world is waiting for us. So big, and yet so fragile. We'll save it, together. And then we'll come back here, to a place as real as our happiness. We'll return to our very own Elysium.
I'm gone. I'm off. I do what I must.
The struggles never cease.
I like that song.
those ranks. You are nothing before me.
Don't hold back!
I believe I owe you an explanation, Knight Commander. First, I'd like to paint you a picture of the situation I found myself in shortly before we met. I was one of the first to receive the information about an individual supposedly chosen by the gods who appeared in Canabris. This message was followed by the news that the Queen of Mendev had appointed this person as the commander of the new crusade. The orders reacted in every conceivable way. I imagine that you and anything even remotely related to you was being discussed in every corner of every Hell Knight citadel. I did not have to be present to imagine the words spoken and the suggestions offered, nor the chaos. The orders often cannot agree, even among themselves. Anticipating the upcoming arguments, I submitted a petition and volunteered to attach myself to the new commander in order to assess her leadership and discover the true nature of her powers. But a good strategist looks far into the future. The role I gave myself was just the beginning. I watched and prepared contingency plans for every potential turn of events, such as if you turned out to be a menace that must be destroyed, or if you turned out to be a valuable asset and our best hope of triumphing over the abyssal host. An ally who must be supported, no matter the cost. I have been a Hell Knight for most of my life. I know the orders like the back of my hand. All our might, determination, and glory, as well as our weaknesses. Unfortunately, it was clear that not all of us would appreciate the tremendous potential of such an important piece showing up on the board. I could write dozens of reports, give you the most stellar of testimonies, and that still wouldn't be enough to convince the skeptics. I believe you are our best chance of healing the world wound once and for all. There is more. I see you not as a tool or a game piece, but as an ally, and a commander with great leadership potential, which is why it is so important to remove the division between you and the orders. For you, the worst-case scenario would have involved a war on two fronts. Having said that, I do not think things would have gone that far. You have proven yourself to be an ally to the entire world, not a threat to it. Still, even the loss of support from the Hell Knights, or the hostility of individual highly aggressive orders, could have cost your crusade dearly. I wanted to avoid that crisis. Only a military tribunal would be able to resolve the issues between the crusade commander and the Hell Knights. As formal a hearing as possible, to assure the orders they had considered the case and had the chance to pronounce a verdict. The occasion also called for a sacrifice, a symbolic victim who would reinforce the impression of a successful trial and a unanimous decision. Nothing bolsters the reputation of the accused like the public humiliation of their accuser. I was the obvious choice for the role. So I organized this tribunal, and did my best to ensure that the Paralictors arrived at the only correct decision, given the circumstances. Of course, this meant that my reputation would be destroyed, and I would be stripped of my rank. But that's inconsequential. Such losses are acceptable. I make no great fuss about the breaching, but I do realize the full scope of its effects. The Fifth Crusade is quite possibly my last campaign. The pressures of time push people to extreme measures, and I am no exception. My aim was more than simply to prevent the Hell Knights from rallying against you. I wanted to strengthen your alliance, to give you a powerful army, a strong asset in the confrontation with the Abyssal host. My gambit was successful. I am satisfied. Your gratitude is unnecessary. I did what had to be done. Now that we are entirely clear, let us return to the main objective. I still hope to see the matter of the World Wound resolved once and for all.